Remember you say about how Linda was saving you from something.
That story? That story, come on. You really want to hear that story?
Why not?
Oh, man.
Tell us that story
another
about
stupid
the camp.
thing.
About camp?
My parents, I'll tell you, they weren't the nicest parents in the world. They decided one year that that they wanted to go on a trip. They wanted to take a cruise to Spain. And I was young at the time.
How many weeks is that cruise to Spain? Like 3 weeks?
That was like 3 weeks, yeah. I forget how old I was. I was very young at the time. I was playing basketball for CYO at that time.
Like how young? Like 12, 13?
Man, I had to be younger than that. I had to be like 10. Yeah,
Okay.
about 10 years old. And they decided, you know, because they wanted to go on a cruise, that they wanted to get rid of me for a month. So they signed me up for this camp that was supposed to have basketball in it. And it turned out to be like a refugee camp, like a POW camp. I wouldn't even say refugee
Like a
camp.
jail?
Like a POW, yeah, like prisoners of war camp. And actually we all lived in barracks like a POWs, and they didn't have no windows. They just had these screens on it, really big screens, like chicken wire screens on it, and the whole side of it was open to let air in. And we had bunk beds that were made out of wood, just like you would see in POW camp, same type, and with a small little cushion on it like this. And one blanket you got, one pillow you got, brown pillow, brown blanket. And what come out to be when I got dropped off and I was issued my bunk, I had the top bunk. I found out later that 95% of the people that went to that camp were juveniles, delinquents from New York City. And these are kids that were in jail from New York City.
Like a very hard...
Yeah, these are they call them juvenile delinquents. That means they're young delinquents. They're mischief, they steal, they rob, they hurt, they're gang members. Yeah, they're gang members. So here I am, the only, white kid there. All of them are, black and Puerto Ricans, a couple of white guys, but I'm the only guy that's, from this, not from the city, from the country. And I'm expecting to play basketball. And the first night that I'm there, fights break out, big fights. I mean, these guys they're from gangs, different gangs, and they're beating the hell out of each other. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. And they were just downright nasty.
They steal blanket from you, remember?
Yeah, I was sleeping one night and it'd be freezing because we had no windows. We only had that chicken fence that was up all the way around the top part of where the windows would be. So we had no windows. So at night, we used to get the fog that rolled in and it'd be freezing. We'd be freezing. You have this one little blanket, you'd be like, oh God. I woke up one night, my blanket was gone. I was like, where the hell did my blanket go? I was like, shit. So I had to sleep the whole night without a blanket, which I couldn't sleep. It was too freaking cold. Next day I wake up, I find my blanket. This other guy stole it. So I'm like, hey, buddy, give me my blanket back. He's like, oh, no, I'm keeping your blanket. I said, the hell you are. I snatched that out of his hand, and next thing you know...
He was fighting?
Yeah. I snatched that out of his hand. Next thing I know, his buddy jumped me. And they beat the hell out of me. Two of them jumped on top of me. They beat the hell out of me. And not only now did they take my blanket, I had no pillow. They took my pillow too. So I was like,
what did you do?
Oh shit, man! I went to the council where they had, to tell the every barracks had an older councilman, they called it, an older guy that you went to if you had problems. So I went there and I told them who took my blanket and stuff. So they didn't even bother taking it back from them because they knew these kids were super bad. So they just gave me another blanket and another pillow. They said, no, we don't even want to start with these kids. That's how bad they were. So here I am, sleeping in bed again, and another big fight breaks out between two of them, and one guy had a knife and he stabbed this other guy in the side. And it was bad. The guy had to be rushed to the hospital, and I really started going, I got to get the hell out of here. This ain't no place for me. So I tried to, I sent a letter to my sister, because every week you could send a letter out. And I said to my sister, I said, Linda, please help. Get me out of this place. There's fights every night and stabbings going on. My sister couldn't believe it. She's like freaking out. Oh, that's my little kid brother. I gotta go get him. I gotta go get him. So she had to wait. She called up there, and they brought me to the main office because she called and she demanded to talk to me. They weren't even gonna let them talk to me.
Why? What they say?
They said, you're not the mother and father. We're not going, because they didn't want me to say how bad it was.
Okay.
So finally she like really yelled until they said, okay, we'll let you talk. And I was on the phone in front of the camp counselor, and before they let me talk, they said, don't you tell her anything that's going on here, or else. They threatened me. So I was like, I didn't give a shit. I just started crying and started saying, Linda, get me out of here, get me out of here. These guys are crazy. There's nothing but gang members here. And I'm the only guy that's not in the gang. They're going to kill me.
You probably was the smallest one.
I was pretty young, yeah. I was pretty young. So he snatched the phone from me. My sister was yelling at him. And he said, look, you can't come up here until they have visiting week. Because the camp halfway through had visiting week where you could come and visit. So she said, well, what day is that? And it was like a week and a half, about a week and a half out. So he says, well, a week and a half you could come up and visit him.
Yeah.
So for a week and a half I had to wait. And what they did to me was unbelievable. They went out and they got a bunch of thorn bushes, big thorn bushes, and they put it in my bed. And since I was on a top bunk, you know, I get up and you jump into bed.
Yeah.
I jumped into bed and I landed on my back and on my butt, all stuck, big thorns in me, all
Thorns
over
like
me.
rose thorn?
No, they have these other bushes that have like needles on them, like this big. And when I landed on it, they went all the way into me, about that far into me, all over me, all over my butt, all over my back.
Did they do that to other kids?
They did it to other kids in different barracks, but I was the first one to get it in our barracks. And I was hurt, man, and I was really in bad shape.
Did you fight with them?
I didn't know who did it. I didn't know who did it. But I had a pretty good idea who did it. I couldn't prove it. But it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I never forget that I tried to escape once because one of the other guys tried to escape, and I was talking to them that they were trying to get out, and they told me where the fence, because they had a huge fence with barbed wire on top, and they had dug underneath the fence, and they had an opening there. And the guy says, you got to get past the dogs, because they got dogs on the other side that would bark, and that would get the whoever's guarding the fence to run over in that direction. So I tried to get out one day, and I went underneath the fence. I started running, and a dog started barking like crazy and chasing after me.
Oh my God, you like ran from Shawshank.
Yeah.
Как побег с Шоушенка из Шоушенка.
The dog chased me to where I was pinned up against a tree, and the dog just stopped and was growling at me like this, and the guy who was watching the fence came running over and grabbed me like this. What do you think you're doing? Like this, and I was freaking out. I was a little kid, you know, I was only 10 years old. I'm freaking crying and shit. I'm saying, man, the dog, I could feel the dog's breath. That's how big the dog was. It was barking. I could feel the breath on my hand because I was like this. And he's like, he got me. He was shaking me. The guy was shaking me. He almost like shook my head off. And I was like, wow, but this is totally different.
I even don't know where to go. Okay, probably here.
No, you think you should have went that way.
You think so?
Yeah. But that's all right. You could turn the other way.
They built that roads.
Yeah, they changed it. So you're supposed to go that way.
Oh,
Yeah. That's all right. So it was really scary. Then they brought me to the office, and they asked me, who told you that was there? And we know that someone told you because we were watching the fence over there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't say nothing. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. No one told me. So they put me to where I couldn't do any basketball, nothing. I had to stay in my barracks for 2 days without it. They said, without showers. They took my shower privileges away too.
Because you was trying to
To try to escape, yeah. So after that,
your sister came?
Yeah, my sister came on that was the weekend. I waited, and my sister came. And
But why did you try to escape if your sister was to come for you?
it was bad. It was bad. I just wanted to get the hell out of there, man. I mean, I look, at 10 years old, I see a kid get stabbed.
Yeah.
I seen 3 guys get severely beat up. I try to get my stuff back and get into a fight with two of the gang members, and they beat the hell out of me 2-on-1. So they already beat the hell out of me, and I'm like, I'm gonna get out of here, man.
So what your parents said when they come back?
Well, make a long story short, my sister came up to get us, and oh yeah, about the food. You didn't even talk about the food yet. The food was terrible. It was mush all the time. The roast beef we used to have roast beef every once in a while. Roast beef was cut so thin, and it was overcooked. It had this ugly gravy on it, all full of fat. All full of fat. You could hardly eat this stuff. And the juice, all we got, everybody nicknamed it bug juice. The reason why we nicknamed it bug juice, because by the time we got it, the flies were inside the place so much, the flies were in it, dancing around inside your glass, like flipping around in the juice. Everybody called it, yeah, you had to get the flies out and drink it. That's why all the kids called it bug juice. So it was terrible. And when the day that my sister came, well, I seen her come in because she had a convertible Camaro, and everybody had to go through the gate, show proof of who they were and stuff. And I seen her coming up the road. She was in line. I ran back to my barracks, stuffed all my clothes into a bag, not even into the suitcase, because they take your suitcase away from you, so you can't go anywhere. I stuffed it into my pillow, the pillowcase, the pillow bag where you put the pillow in, stuffed all my clothes into that, and ran for the fence where she was coming in. 2 other guys see me running, and as soon as my sister came in, because she had a convertible was down, I jumped into the car and said, "Go, go, go! Just get out of here! Just get out of here!" 2 other guys jumped in the car with me. I didn't even know who they were. They wanted to get the hell out too.
They said, "Take us too."
Take us too. So she did a U-turn right in the middle and shot out the other side of the fence and flew down the driveway, the big long road, and took me home. Let the kids off too at the bottom of the hill. That's how bad that place was.
So, and no parents was after that, no parents was complaining about all this?
Oh, my mother came home, and she was wondering what I was doing home, because they were supposed to pick me up. Actually, Aunt Catherine was supposed to bring me back, my Aunt Catherine. It's actually Aunt Catherine's the one who brought me up there. And they found out that, I was home, and they were pissed. They were pissed at my sister Linda for bringing me home. They were like, "What'd you bring him home for? Blah, 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 blah. We paid all this money, blah, 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 blah." It was cheap as hell, this place. This place, my dad doesn't spend any money on us kids, He had the cheapest place possible. And Linda just said to my dad, I mean, geez, come on, the kid got beaten up by gang members. Then in the same place where he was staying, same barracks where he was staying, a guy got stabbed in the side, had to be rushed to the hospital from a fight. Fights breaking out all over the place, and I'm the only guy that doesn't have anybody to back me up. I'm not in the gang, so I was like the only kid that wasn't in the gang. They were all jumping me. I couldn't even take a shower. I was taking a shower one time. They came in and took all my clothes. I had no clothes. I got out of the shower. I'm walking around outside naked. They took all my clothes.
You're so excited, it was like yesterday.
Yeah, tell me about it. It was ridiculous. You have no clue what it was like. I learned then, man.
Wow.
Those kids in those gangs, they're tough kids, man. You don't want to mess with them.
They are all from New York?
All from New York, yeah, and all in gangs, all of them. They got gang, even the youngest ones have tattoos. Young, 10 years old, tattoos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from the gangs that they're in.
Probably these kids who are raised on the street.
Yep, and they'll kill you. They'll kill you. They don't think twice about sticking you with a switchblade.
Wow, so this was camp for that hard teenagers.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I seen that guy get stabbed, and this is the truth. I seen that guy get stabbed with a knife this big. The guy stuck it in and pulled it out, and it came out. All the meat came out. Right in the side, the guy got it.
Oh wow.
I seen that. That was wicked. I'll never forget that.
That's crazy.
Yep. And that was a camp for kids anywhere from 9 to 15 years old. This camp, and these kids were big. You get a 15-year-old kid on a 10-year-old. It's a big difference.
Yeah. So that 15 years old kids beat you?
Oh, they pounded me to death. They wouldn't even beat you up. They would pound you.
That's animals.
Yeah. They pounded you.
Wow.
They have, like I said, they
So
had
your
fights.
parents wasn't even sorry for you when they come back?
Well, once my sister told what happened, and that I told my story what happened, my father was like, wow, you know. And my dad told Aunt Catherine the story, because Aunt Catherine actually is the one that brought me there. It's upstate New York somewhere, and she actually went to that camp to say a formal complaint about it, but nothing was done. You know, nothing was done about it. Yeah, that's why I hated camp. After that, I'll run away from home before you send me anywhere.
Wow. So tell me now, not story, but tell me about your childhood. I want to ask you this question. Did they buy for you, the parents, did they buy for you pretty clothes when you was little?
Pretty clothes?
Yeah, like nice clothes, like very fashionable boots, fashionable pants and something like that.
My mother used to try to do that, but her taste in clothes was like, I don't know where it came from. The 20s?
Say that.
Man, it was like
what did you
I don't know. Here I am, like a 10-year-old kid, or right around there. You know, you're starting to grow up, and you know, want jeans. You want to look cool and stuff like that. She's buying me sailor outfits. You know, dressing me up like a sailor with this goofy hat and goofy shirts. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Really?
Yeah, I hated it. I would take the clothes out of the. I would never wear it, and then she'd get pissed off and say wear it, and then she would make me wear it. And I'd go outside and just roll in the dirt and get real dirty.
So when you come back, she was yelling at you?
Yeah, she yelled at me. And she said, "What am I gonna do? You ruined these clothes." I said, "Good. I'm not wearing this crap."
What did you like to put on?
Jeans.
Jeans?
Yeah, nice t-shirt and jeans. I didn't want to wear freaking some sailor outfit. Like, from the 20s. If people know what the 20s were when they used to dress up their kids in the sailor outfits, ever see that? That's what she used to make me wear.
So what about your sisters? Did they, was fashionable?
They basically dressed them, well, when they were little kids.
Yeah.
When they were little kids, my mother used to get them nice dresses. Yeah, she was better with the dresses for the girls than the dressing me up, you know. She dressed me up, I looked like an idiot.